Now, we saved a very special guest to be our last speaker, but before we go there, I just want to thank you all for coming. Look, this has been a great time to get together, and if the dishonest media would just walk around the show this weekend, they'd see NRA members from every background, every religion, and every ethnicity. But not one of them is a poser like this one. Please watch.
I pledge not to take a single penny from the National Rifle Association.
Let me be clear. Elizabeth Warren has as much chance getting a penny from us as she does getting a Cherokee of the Year award. But our next speaker is a member, and he's our final speaker. He's a life member, in fact, one of us. Now serving as the 51st governor of Indiana, he's working with our legislative allies to pass important reforms to benefit all of us as gun owners. He's already signed legislation to expand right to carry. His wife, Janet, who is also a life member and certified NRA pistol instructor, shares his dedication to firearm freedoms and firearm owners. This man's a big part of why Indiana is one of the freest states in the country, and he's making it better every day. Please join me in a warm Hoosier welcome for Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, and good afternoon to each and every one of you. You know, it's not every day that I get to be the closer, so to speak, especially when those leadoff hitters included the president, the vice president of the United States of America. But it is and was truly an honor to welcome the president back, and we're always thrilled and ecstatic to welcome our very own Hoosier back on Hoosier soil. Mike Pence back home again in Indiana. We're also proud, and you heard from them both earlier today, to have sent two United States senators, Todd Young and Mike Braun, taking our Hoosier common sense to Washington, D.C. These are men that you can count on in every day and in every way. And you've seen, if you're not from these parts, that Indiana is Trump-Pence country. And before that, we were NRA country. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad that you're here, and you're going to be here all weekend. And we're so appreciative to the National Rifle Association for once again picking Indiana and our capital city to host their annual convention. And as Chris just alluded to, my thank yous, my piling on the praise is more than just professional. It is a personal thank you from the Holcomb household. And as you just heard, my wife Janet and I are both lifetime NRA members. And to be honest, you might have the wrong Holcomb up here right now speaking, because for those of you that don't know about Indiana's First Lady, let me just spend a couple minutes bragging about my beautiful bride. She is an experienced shooter and instructor who's been active in competitive sports for now well over a decade, and her interest in firearms and self-protection began about 11 years ago after we had a break-in and a robbery in our home while we were sleeping. And she started at that very moment with pistol training, and eventually, as Chris said, became a certified NRA instructor. And that evolved into her real love and passion for shooting sports, and she shares that now with others, training them, particularly women and younger folks around our state. And this year she served as the honorary chair for the NRA Women's Leadership Forum. She was just down the street, probably still is, as a matter of fact, at the luncheon earlier today, and you may see her bouncing around. She'll be here almost every minute of every day. She's trained with our Indiana State Police SWAT teams. She's hunted wild boar from a helicopter in Texas more than once. She's even starting to think about doing it with a knife now on the ground. She's done urban training with an Israeli anti-terrorist expert over in just outside of Jerusalem, and even fired a howitzer. So, as you can imagine, she controls the remote control at home. And we have never had an argument twice. But our personal history with the NRA is just one of the many reasons we're glad you're back here in our capital city. And of course, we're grateful for the work that you're doing. You've heard, I think, every single speaker, because I've watched as well, recognize the importance of standing on that front line, standing in the gap to protect our Second Amendment and to promote the safe and responsible gun ownership that we all know. We're also excited about you coming here because you bring such great speakers, as you've just heard the lineup, obviously, to our capital city, and for all the other NRA members that are spending time, and yes, I really appreciate the spending of money here as well in our state, and we want you to come back and back again and back again after that. We want to keep these good times rolling, but it is, as my fellow gubernatorial colleague said, Governor Bevin, it's up to us to keep that going, to keep the momentum going, and protect what we got. And that's why I am stoked, really, to break some news here today. The NRA and Indiana are going to partner together to establish the new NRA National Marksmanship Competition Center right down the road from where we are here in Indianapolis, down in Camp Atterbury. You're going to come back and you need to see it. The Camp Atterbury is just a 30-minute drive and is one of our National Guard training bases. Camp Atterbury's motto is, "We are ready," which is fitting because the camp has prepared American troops for service all over the world. It was established as a combat training center way back during World War II, and it's supported our National Guard missions during the Vietnam War, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and military activity leading up until this very day. We're rightfully proud of what Camp Atterbury means to our state and to our country, and we're excited for this next new Indiana chapter that we're co-authoring together with the NRA. It is the National Rifle Association's new center that will host the small bore rifle and precision pistol championships, and we'll continue hosting high power rifle championships that began here just 2 years ago, some of you may recall. And that's just for starters, because we aim to attract even more competition as the partnership grows over the years. This fits hand in glove here in Indiana. We are a sportsman's dream. If you've never been here before, and you may not know this, but Indiana has an abundance of outdoor sports and recreational opportunities. So if your schedule permits, I'd encourage you to race up north and spend a few extra days here and explore all we have to offer. We have the country's newest national park, the Indiana Dunes, on the beautiful shorelines of Lake Michigan. If you've come up from or come down from up north, or if you want to head out west from where we are right now to the beautiful canyons of Turkey Run State Park, you might know that Don Jr. posted on social media that he had a successful turkey hunt yesterday over in that neck of the woods. But we got hunting and fishing and caving and shooting and sailing and hiking, and we've just got it all, and the most important thing is we like to share. And now, being home to the NRA's new National Marksmanship Competition Center, we'll attract even more members of the law enforcement community and the military and civilian competitions, and we're looking so forward to really showcasing our Hoosier hospitality that we're known for. But wait, there's more. I know you saw the president sign an executive order that withdrew us from a United Nations treaty, but which was fantastic. But if you'll permit me to brag a little bit more about our state and tell you that there's simply no place more friendly and more supportive of the Second Amendment than right here on Hoosier soil. We value our freedom and that liberty that you've heard so much about earlier today, and the importance of being able to bear arms and have our ability to protect and provide for ourselves and for our families, sometimes even in that greatest and hour of most need. And we're taking that support of the Second Amendment to the next level. Earlier this week, the Indiana General Assembly passed a bill, and you're seeing some of these men and women from our Indiana General Assembly, passed a bill that removes all fees from short-term handgun licenses. That's worth a shout out. That's next level. So thank you for recognizing these men and women and the folks that really got it across the line and who led on this very issue. Their bill, and the selfie that got it, their bill also clarifies the ability of private property owners to establish carry policies in houses of worship. Removing any and all barriers for lawful carry in our state is significant for the many Hoosier gun owners who want to protect themselves and others. This is an important bill. This is an important next step. And I'm going to sign it into law live right in front of you all right now. 11. All right, we just made good law that time. Thanks again, Liberty lovers. Enjoy our great state. Thank you for coming back.